Number 1. Wes Craven first got the idea after reading a news story about a teenager in Asia who was having such vivid nightmares that he was terrified to sleep. The boy allegedly kept a coffee maker under his bed, and eventually died of heart failure following one such nightmare. Number 2. The script was written back in 1981, and Wes Craven spent 3 years getting rejected by every studio, until Bob Shaye, president of New Line Cinema, took a chance on it. Number 3. At one point, Disney was interested in purchasing the script, but they wanted it toned down greatly to be rated PG and aimed more at kids. Number 4. The name Fred Krueger came from a childhood bully of Wes Craven's. Number 5. Earlier drafts of the script specifically described Freddy Krueger as a child molester, but it was later changed to child murderer, due to an unfortunate series of molestation cases that had occurred in California in the early 80s. Number 6. Another early design had Freddy Krueger wielding a large scythe like the Grim Reaper, but Wes Craven decided against it. Number 7. Jennifer Grey, Claudia Wells, Demi Moore, and Courtney Cox all auditioned to play Nancy. Number 8. A Nightmare on Elm Street was Johnny Depp's very first movie. He was cast partly because Wes Craven's daughter thought he was dreamy. Number 9. Before Johnny Depp was cast, Charlie Sheen was considered for the role of Glenn, but his asking rate was more than the production could afford. Number 10. Mark Patton also auditioned for the role of Glenn. He would later go on to play the lead role of Jesse in the sequel. Number 11. Robert Englund drew inspiration from Klaus Kinski's take on Dracula in the 1979 Werner Herzog version of Nosferatu, specifically his physicality. Number 12. Wes Craven chose red and green for Freddy's iconic sweater because he read an article in Scientific American that red and green were the most contrasting colors to the human eye. Number 13. The character is only ever referred to as Fred Krueger, with no one calling him Freddy until the sequels. Number 14. Roy Schneider of Jaws fame was considered for the role of Nancy's father, Lieutenant Thompson. However, he turned it down due to scheduling conflicts with 2010, the year we make contact. Number 15. In the very first shot of Freddy, he was played by a member of the special effects team, Charles Belardinelli, since he was the only one who knew how to cut the glove and insert the blades properly. Number 16. The makeup process to turn Robert Englund into Freddy Krueger took 3 hours each day. Number 17. The boiler room scenes were shot in the basement of Lincoln Heights Jail in Los Angeles. It has since been condemned, due to high levels of asbestos. Number 18. Freddy's long arms were achieved by having crew members just off camera, holding them up with fishing poles. Number 19. Nancy's teacher was played by Lynn Shay, sister of New Line president Bob Shaye. She's best known now by horror fans as the medium Elise in the Insidious movies. Number 20. Filming took place over 31 days from mid-June to mid-July 1984, with the movie being released only a few months later that year. Number 21. Wes Craven's wife of the time, Mimi Craven, had a cameo as Nancy's nurse in one scene. Number 22. The scene in which a centipede crawls out of Tina's corpse's mouth was done with a real centipede, and a clay sculpture of Tina's face. Number 23. A total of 500 gallons of fake blood were used for the movie. Number 24. The iconic bathtub scene was shot with a bottomless tub, with an entire swimming pool underneath. Heather Langenkamp spent 12 hours in the tub that day, but claimed it was her favorite scene to film. Number 25. Glenn's death scene was achieved by creating an entire bedroom set upside down, with the bed on the ceiling. That way the blood could flow from the ceiling, but with the camera upside down as well, it looked like it was erupting from below. Number 26. The scene where Freddy comes through the wall above Nancy's bed was achieved practically, using a sheet of spandex stretched through a hole in the wall. Number 27. In one scene, we see Nancy watching Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead. This was an inside joke, since Evil Dead featured a poster of Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes. Number 28. A handful of shots were actually directed by Friday the 13th director Sean S. Cunningham. He and Craven were friends, and Craven helped him similarly on Friday the 13th. Number 29. The melting staircase came from Bob Shaye himself, based on a nightmare he had. The effect was primarily done with pancake mix. Number 30. Wes Craven wanted the film to end with Nancy definitively defeating Freddy. However, Bob Shaye insisted they shoot the infamous car turning into Freddy ending, which Craven always hated. Number 31. Tina's death scene had to have several frames removed in order for the MPAA to pass the movie with an R rating. Number 32. One of the voices of the kids singing was Bob Shaye's daughter. Number 33. In the end, Freddy Krueger only has about 7 minutes of screen time. Number 34, A Nightmare on Elm Street was released the very same day as Silent Night Deadly Night and actually came in second at the box office opening weekend, mostly because Nightmare on Elm Street wasn't playing in as many theaters. Number 35, A Nightmare on Elm Street ultimately grossed $57 million on a budget of just $1.8 million, spawning an entire franchise and pop culture icon. Number 36, the Saturn Awards nominated A Nightmare on Elm Street for Best Horror Film, but it lost to Gremlins. Number 37, a year after the movie came out, Amanda Weiss was handing out candy for Halloween, and was surprised to see so many trick-or-treaters dressed as Freddy. She claimed she told a few of them that she was Tina in the movie, but no one believed her. Number 38, the success of the movie ended up saving New Line Cinema from bankruptcy, resulting in many people referring to the studio as the house that Freddy built. Number 39, in 2004, Bravo ranked A Nightmare on Elm Street 17th on their 100 Scariest Movie Moments. And finally, number 40, to this day, Heather Langenkamp has never seen the 2010 remake.
You know, I decided not to see it on purpose, yeah, because I just didn't want to see another man play Freddy Krueger. That was my whole, I just love Robert Englund and his portrayal of Freddy. I think everything he did was so perfect. And I understand that they wanted to, they want to bring new people in, but for me, I just didn't want to have that in my head. So, we gotta be careful what you put in your head. That's what I decided.